Hello, Longmeadow girls basketball. I wish I could be with all of you. Missed you all so much since our season ended, but I really wanted to put together something so that we could commemorate what I just felt was such an incredible, an awesome, and memorable season. Could not be more proud to be part of the Lady Lancer program, and this year was an unforgettable one. So, despite everything that's gone on and how many obstacles you had to overcome this spring, I hope you look back as fondly as I do on really what was a magical winter. So this is our virtual banquet. I am going to talk longer than you wished I would talk, but that's just how it works with me. I can't wait to say some things about each and every one of you. But first, I want to say thank you to Amy Carteropoli and the Carteropoli family. Just embracing the newness of this season that we had, meeting with me early on so we could get on the same page, and just all of your tireless work on behalf of the program. You were just incredible in all the things you did for the Booster Club. I'm thinking we'll still get together at some point in this summer and have some sort of barbecue, but just in case we didn't, I want to get this all documented and shared with you guys. But thank you so much, Amy Carteropoli and the Carteropoli family. Thank you everyone else that pitched in with the Booster Club. I know there were a lot of people that did many different things, both behind the scenes and during games and in so many different ways, so thank you so much. And varsity parents, I really want to thank all of you. This is that time of year when many coaches wonder if they should keep coaching, because there's just so much that can go on with parents. And I was so blessed this year to coach a team with such positive and supportive parents. It meant the world to me, especially in year one of me coaching girls basketball and in year one of me being back at Longmeadow. You were just an incredible bunch, and you have some incredible young women as your daughters, and it was an honor to coach them, but it was an honor to have you watching all the games and supporting us along the way. So thank you so much to the parents. Players, we'll talk a lot about you in a minute, but I want to just say thank you to you as well. Such a fun group to coach. Just so much fun being with you every day for 3 months, laughing, improving, working hard, all of the above. So thank you so much to the players. I also want to give a shout out to Melissa and McKenna for making it to so many games, helping us out. I really needed you. I needed people that showed up, especially in year one, as I was piecing it all together. So thank you so much for your work. Thank you to Angela for working so well with me, making sure our players were healthy and prepared and cleared to play. Thank you to Michaela Smith, who coached the the JVB team. And I really appreciated Michaela taking that on. And also a big shout out and thank you to Pepe, who was Coach Baker's assistant coach on the JV. It takes a lot of different good people to make a program run right, and all of the people I've mentioned so far were a big part of this program running right, so thank you so much. I have two coaches specifically that I need to thank, though. The first is Coach Baker. I was so lucky to have Coach Baker take over the JV program this year. I knew she'd be great at it. I was hoping she'd do it. She took it on. I can tell right away she's the kind of person who likes a challenge. She knew it would be a challenge, and she did a great job with it. She was so good at developing her players. She formed a bond with them, and she really made the JV season an extremely positive experience. It was so cool to see them finishing practice or getting ready to start practice, and they're talking hoops, they're together as a team, they're all smiling, but they're all working hard. It's exactly the kind of program I want to have, working hard while we smile. And Coach Baker did exactly that with the JV program, so I was very lucky to have her help me help us all building this program. And I was really lucky to get to know her. She has become a really good friend of mine. She loves her players, she loves her students, she loves to laugh, but she never gives half of an effort. That's what I know about Coach Baker. Everything she does full throttle. And that includes making us laugh. So it has been great to have Coach Baker at the top of the JV program, as well as to have her with us within the varsity program. So a huge shout out and a thank you to Coach Baker. And then, last but not least, in my initial rounds of thank you, a huge shout out to Coach Bridget Dulay. Before I considered going for this job, I knew I would need Bridget to work with me if I went for it, and I got it. She's been my friend since I was 16. When we were in high school, we were coaching at the Longmeadow basketball summer camp together. Frankly, at this point, she's more like family. Bridget knows the game so well, and she has such a deep understanding of the game. She doesn't just know the X's and O's or just know what to run here and what to do here. She sort of knows how the emotions fit the athletic ability, fit the moment, and all come together. And she sees that broader view of the game, and that makes her so valuable to me. She also knows female athletes. She's a counselor at heart. Players, if you needed to talk or you needed something, you could always go to Coach Bridget, and that was such an asset to our program. Coach Dulé is also a leader. She has this magical ability. She inspires effort and togetherness, but she does so like effortlessly. It just comes natural to her. She's not trying to get us to work hard or to get us to be together. That's just how she is as a leader. And because of that, and because of her counselor mindset, her connection with all of our players, parents, I hope they've told you how close they were to Bridget, because her connection with our players was unparalleled. She listens so well. She cares so much. She's competitive. She really was the perfect assistant coach. And listen, make no mistake about it. She could 100% be a varsity coach. There's no doubt about it. She's already done it at the prep school level. Therefore, everything we did with this team, we did together. And her voice was always at least equal to mine. In fact, many times, as the players will tell you, she would help me get out of my own way. And there were times where she'd be telling me to do something different or not do something I was planning. And if any of the players heard her, they would loudly agree with her, rightfully so. So both the players and I were extremely lucky to have her. Thank you so much to Coach Bridget for all of your hard work this year.
Hi, everybody. Happy summer. Coach Allen asked if I wanted to add a few words into the video that he's making for you guys in place of having our basketball banquet this year. And I said I would love to. I think when we started out last fall, the anticipation, the anxiousness, what was this season going to look like? And we didn't know who the coach was going to be and how the team was going to be run and the program was going to be run. And I think we'll all agree that this has been fantastic. I would say this is probably, in over 30 years of coaching that I've done, one of the best seasons that I have ever had the pleasure of coaching. And that's not only because of Coach Tim and Coach Bridget, but working with all of you. It's really been a great ride. One of my favorite things about this whole season is the laughter. And I love to laugh, and walking into practices and seeing how all of you guys were running around and laughing, the camaraderie, the respect that you had for one another. It really was a lot of fun to be a part of that. I loved hearing you singing on the bus rides, even after we lost a game. It just really was a fun year. And I think you all feel the same way and recognize the magic of it. I'm hoping that we have another season like that I get the joy of coaching. But I am so looking forward to next year for those of you who are coming back, and to the three of you who are moving on, Alana, Julia, and Hannah. I will really miss you. I've enjoyed having you guys in class, those that I had, and seeing you in the hallway. And I hope that you guys will come back during your school breaks and come watch a game and come hang with us and maybe come to practice. You're always welcome. And I just wanted to say it was a fabulous season. I hope you all have a fantastic summer, and I'm really looking forward to coaching and working with all of you again next year. Go Lancers!
Hey girls, first I want to say hi and that I miss you and I hope everybody's doing well. Obviously this is not the ideal way we want to have closure to our season, our incredible season, by doing video banquet, but Timmy and I are trying to make the best of it and share some of our thoughts and feelings about how this team was and what we accomplished throughout the time together. So with that said, I want to start by talking about the team in general. From the minute Timmy and I met you guys, from that first day, we really knew we had something special. We knew that this group of girls were really going to lead to an amazing season. I think being new coaches to you guys, we quickly saw the bond you shared and just what type of kids you were outside of the game. And it really did shine from the minute we spent time with you. And I think we both talked about it right away about how excited we were to work with such an incredible group of girls. And this season only really cemented that for the two of us as we continued on with you. I think the biggest thing that comes from this season is just how much you guys were dedicated to one another, and how much you really relied on the love and respect for one another to carry you through the season. In my time, there's really only been a few teams that I would actually categorize as special, and this team is certainly one of them. You don't always get this type of experience with every team you play for. It really takes a group effort to make it be special, and I think every single one of you put in that time, that heart, that dedication that it took to make this a special experience and a special team for all of us. And so, I just think the love and respect you have for each other is what has carried us and led to success throughout the season. And I think that just, one of the biggest examples of that is, and I think Alana mentioned this in her quarantine video, that West Springfield game when our seniors went down for different reasons, and the team stepped up, the younger players stepped up, and I think they stepped up because of the respect and love they have for the seniors. And it's just the, epitome of what this team was about. And, I think it's a perfect example, like Alana said, that really shows what defines us. And, how proud we were of you guys throughout the season for all the obstacles we faced and how you overcome them and how you work together to do that. And I just think for me personally, I haven't coached in 10 years, and it took a little coaxing from Timmy to get me to do this. But, I think what you guys did is you reminded me why I love it so much. And I don't think it would have been any team that did that for me. I think you being so special is really what led me to realize why I love coaching and why I'm going to stick with it for a long time. So I thank you for that, and I thank you for sharing yourselves with me as much as seeing you on the court and coaching you through playing. I think what I love about this team is that everybody can be vulnerable, everybody can be who they want to be and show that side of them and show who they are as people, and it's respected and accepted, and and even us as coaches felt that comfort. And I think that's what really is at the core of what we are. Is not just basketball players, but people who truly believe in a family and truly commit to a family. And so I thank you for the time and the experience that I had, because I'll tell you, every day with you guys was fun. We never had a day where we felt like we weren't enjoying what we were doing. And I think about the practices and the laughs we shared to the point where we had to stop in the middle of drills because we were all just laughing or having fun about something that happened. And the inside jokes we shared and all those pieces that you'll carry with you for a long time and you'll never forget. And I think those are what really, really, really show how important this experience is. It's not just the basketball, as much as that's fun and how much success we experience. It's really sharing in those day-to-day moments together that really are what you're going to find to be the most important things that you gain as players moving on in life. So again, thank you guys. I can't wait to see you at some point in person, and I can't wait to be back on the court with most of you, and I will miss the seniors, and I'm going to talk about them next. But to the team in general, really, really love this season. Can't wait for next season, and, I'm thinking of all of you at this time. All right, hope to see you soon. So now on to the seniors. What I think is amazing is that the three of you grew up playing basketball together. And I think the sport bonded you in so many more ways than just playing together. And yeah, you brought each of your individual selves to this team, whether, Alana, that was your calming presence and your endless support. Jules, that fighting mentality and those words of wisdom in the locker room when we needed it the most. And Hannah, your deep and utter love for this team and your selfless attitude on and off the court. Those were all pieces of yourselves you shared, but I think the one thing you all share as leaders is that devotion and love for the team. And that showed each and every day you were on the court together. I talked earlier to the team about that family, and I really don't think that family happens without leaders like you. There's so many teams that don't get that type of experience, and a lot has to do with the seniors and how they model that for everyone else. And you certainly did model that. The bond you shared alone showed the team what this is about, that you are a part of something bigger than yourself. And you guys really, really showed the team that you cared more than just the game. You cared about getting to know them. You cared about sharing in experiences off the court as much as you did on the court. It's easy as seniors just to be together and not really think about the underclassmen, but that wasn't you. You made it an effort and put energy into getting to know all the underclassmen and including everybody and accepting everybody and allowing people to be vulnerable and supporting that. And that's why our team could be who we were and share in such a fun experience together. And so I thank you for giving that piece of yourselves and as a group of leaders to this team. You certainly set the tone for us in so many ways to have such an amazing season. And for me personally, I want to thank you for letting me in, to not just coaching you, but also your lives off the court. To getting to know you as people is so much more of a joy than just coaching all of you. And I want to thank you for letting me and Timmy in as well. You really did open your arms to us. And I know you took a risk to take on 2 new coaches your senior year that you didn't know. And, you showed us that respect immediately. And you really were vulnerable to letting us in. And I know both of us appreciate that so much because I know that's not an easy thing to do. And I know the 3 of you are going to go on in this world and do such amazing things, whatever you choose to do, because of the people you are and because you are so special. And, we're going to miss you so much next year. It's not going to be the same for sure. You're irreplaceable, each of you, in different ways. And, we'll have to fill that void in some way. But, what you gave to us never leaves. And we'll take that and we're going to continue on with that, because you have shown your underclassmen and your teammates what it is and what it takes to be special. So don't fear that is your legacy. And we're so excited for next season, but we certainly are going to miss the 3 of you every day. But thank you. Thank you for all that you gave of yourselves. Thank you for making this such a priority. And thank you for putting so much effort into what you did every day. It made a difference, and it certainly impacted this team. And I have a gift for you guys. So hold on one sec. So now I know, Hannah, you wanted to keep one of your uniforms for yourself, and so I know that can't happen. So what I ended up doing, and from Timmy and I, we wanted to give you guys, is I actually took a photo of your 3 uniforms, so you can take them with you in some way, that I wanted to give each of you. And at some point, I'm going to get it to you, but it's a framed picture of your 3 uniforms with a basketball to honor the 3 of you for all that you did. So I hope you love it, and it's something you can carry with you forever, and it shows the bond the 3 of you shared together, not just this season, but throughout your lives, that I hope you find special and I hope you take with you. All right, I love you 3. I know you're going to come back and visit us. I'm sure about that, so I know I'm going to be seeing you, so this is not goodbye, but it's see you later, and I can't wait to see you at some point. And last but not least, Timmy. So what I think is crazy is that you coach boys as long as you did, because you were absolutely born to coach girls. And I can't believe it took you this long to figure that out, but I'm glad you did. And you're going to have such an impact on girls basketball moving forward. And I can't wait to share in that in some way. So I wanted to spend some time just talking about Timmy as a coach and who he is. I don't think anything I'm going to say is surprising to anyone. I think the girls felt it, they saw it. But I just want to kind of share a little bit of my thoughts about who Timmy is as a coach. I mean, honestly, you don't find coaches like him often. It's just rare. He is absolutely devoted to what he does. He's so passionate about teaching and coaching. And a lot of it is about giving back. I mean, he grew up playing the sport and he loved it so much, and he wants to in some way give back all that love to people moving forward. And that's what drives him as a coach. He is an emotional guy, and that matters to him. It matters how he feels and what he gives and how everyone around him feels. And if he can have you take a piece of something with you from his coaching, it's a win for him, because Timmy doesn't, at the end of the day, care about the outcomes of games. He cares about the experience. He cares about the impact he's having. And that's what it's about. So, I think you girls were so lucky to get a head coach like him, and I knew it going into it. It's the reason I even joined him in coaching, because I knew I'd be coaching with someone who's just so special in so many ways, like this team. And I think it all just trickled down. And that's why we had such an amazing season. And I know, you guys saw the relationship Timmy and I have. And of course, we like to poke fun at each other and have laughs and have fun together. And, I knew coming into this that coaching with him would lead to a really fun experience across the board. And I won't do any jokes right now about Timmy. I'll hold back. But there are so many times that the girls and I enjoyed some laughs at Timmy's expense during practices and during games, and he's such a good sport about it. But that was the fun we had. We could do that, and enjoy what we did, but still work really hard. And for me, obviously, Timmy at the ages of 14 and 16, when we were working at Cogs's camp, I don't think either one of us would predicted that we would be coaching the girls varsity basketball team together. But I'm so grateful that we did. I remember the night you took me out to dinner and you used your Timmy charm to convince me to join you. And I was hesitant at first because I didn't know if I could give that time. But, I'm so happy that you pushed me to do it. And I'm most happy because it was with you. And it's really the only reason originally I made that decision. If it was anyone else, I don't think I would have done that. So, I thank you for doing that. And it really brought such joy to me and such happiness to be back into coaching and to be a part of a team like this. And I also think what goes beyond coaching together is our friendship. I am bleeding Alan, through and through, being your wife's assistant during the day and then your assistant in the afternoon. I am very much a part of the family, and thank you for both of you for letting me in. And the friendship that we share is something I cherish. And I think that's what it works for us as coaches, because we share such a deep friendship with each other. And so, I just wanted to thank you for, one, bringing me onto this team and pushing me to be a part of it, and two, for working with you and for all that you gave of yourself and for how much love you showed this team every day. I so appreciate it, and I'm in it for a while, so hopefully you'll keep taking me back each year as an assistant coach. But really, Timmy, you mean the world to me, and I love coaching with you, and I really, really am thankful for all that you brought to my life. So I have a gift for you, and I think, there's going to be one particular person, Grace, who really is going to enjoy this gift. So I ended up getting you a t-shirt that, we don't really need to say it anymore. We can just point and it works. So here is your This Guy t-shirt for practices. So I just felt like, what? We say it so many times, we might as well make you a t-shirt. So I hope you love it. I can't wait for you to wear it. All right. And enjoy it, because next year you're going to be wearing it every day instead of those short sweatshirts. All right. All right, Timmy. Thanks.
Okay, so now I'd like to talk a little bit about the team in general. I think that the biggest thing for the team this year was that, and with 3 seniors, they had to start all over. And that is not an easy thing to do in any part of life, but certainly in athletics, and certainly not when you're a senior in high school. But even as a freshman, sophomore, junior, it was a whole new program. And while it was nice to be following a very good coaching staff, which we did, we were a new coaching staff and we had different ways of doing a lot of things. So that is a big thing for a team to overcome. And I so appreciate how much our players were open to newness, were open to communicating with us right from the beginning, and dove in to how Bridget and Coach Baker and I wanted to do things, and it just it was really heartwarming and really made for a good sense of togetherness on this team. They had to deal with new coaches, new systems, new plays, frankly, new everything. And then they faced obstacles during the season. It wasn't always easy. Obviously, we had different injuries. We had different things we had to overcome. But that said, it was such a magical, magical season. I have been part of coaching varsity basketball at some level now. I believe this was year 14. And this is one of the most magical seasons I've ever been a part of. There's no doubt we wish we had won that last game and then some. But now that we're stepping away from it, and I prepared this speech, I realized just how lucky we were. You know, high school sports can so much be about the moments. How many moments do you create that are memorable? And I'm not sure I've been around a team that had created this many memorable moments. So some that I'll never forget just overall before I talk about some games. But I remember our first meeting in the cafeteria, and we were sort of outlining what tryouts would look like. And afterwards, Julia and Hannah sat there and talked to Bridget and I. And it's so crazy to look back on that now, as me and Bridget sat across from Julia and Hannah, and we all know each other so well now, but at that moment we didn't know each other at all. And Julia definitely was laying out, like, here's how things were, here's what we're wondering, here's the questions we have, very professional and good to talk to. And Hannah was kind of quiet most of the time, started interjecting here and there, but finally showed her true colors when she said, we just need to beat Savas and Holyoke. We need to beat Savas and Holyoke. And I just started laughing, and I knew right then and there that I liked Hannah a lot. So that's one team highlight I'll never forget. Another one is our team stretching. I don't know if your daughters have told you about our team stretching, but they weren't the best. They weren't the best team ever at stretching before practice. And we would tell them, all right, you got 6 minutes for stretching. And they would go into their routines. And I'm not sure any muscles got stretched. I know they moved. I know they acted as if they were getting warmed up. But it seemed more like they were just talking and working through things, telling stories. And Bridget was the one who said, just let them go. Just let them go. Sometimes you just got to talk before you practice. And we started making fun of them eventually and started giving out some specifics on how bad some of their stretches were. But we always had enough warm-up time that they could catch up on their stretching. But I'll never forget this team's stretching. I'll also never forget the moment that the team did the Celtics tickets for Julia. Ella spearheaded that, which was awesome, and we got to surprise her. And I put them on a clipboard, and I acted like I was going to yell at Julia, and then it was actually Celtics tickets from the team, and she started screaming. So that was awesome, and I happened to be able to go to that game as well, and I was in my Celtics jersey in my seats, and Julia in her Lakers jersey, and the Celtics won. So she had to wear a Celtics jersey to practice, which was wonderful. But that was a great moment provided by a team who cared, and another great memory. Also, the scavenger hunt in Worcester. Bridget put that together. The players can tell you more about that, but that was an absolute blast, going around the shopping center as we tried to kill some time before the Holy Cross game. And Bridget put together a really fun time. I'll also never forget Wings Over Springfield. Felt like that was a great moment in our building of a team, and just sort of sitting back, having some food. And you know how it is with family, how when you sit at a table and eat, you have a lot of your best conversations, and that really is what happened at Wings Over Springfield. I felt like when we left there, we had really come together on a new level as a team with a new coaching staff. So that was great. I'll never forget Bridget's activity, the quote unquote "I got your back" activity, which we did in the cafeteria. It was awesome for me to see how much everybody dove into that activity and really showed what kind of team we were going to be. Some teams, you can see them go through the motions when you do a team building activity. When we did a team building activity, this team dove in head first, all of them. And I actually absolutely love that. I'll also never forget the bus back from Woodstock. We had a lot of loud bus rides this year. We had a lot of dancing on the bus, but that bus back from Woodstock I thought was pretty epic. That music was blaring. That was a good win. We were all very happy. And the players danced your hearts out, and that's what it's all about. Those are the kind of things you remember more than anything else. And I also want to thank you for including Tegan in a lot of those moments as well, because you all know her pretty well at this point, and she absolutely lived for hanging out with you guys. And it was great how much you embraced her on the bus as well. We had also a lot of memorable games. As I started to go back through, I'm like, wow, there were so many nights that were special. I'll never forget our first game at East Longmeadow, our opening night. Huge crowd, huge loud crowd. Obviously, they were taunting me amongst others because I worked there. I tried not to show it. I hope I didn't show it, but I was so nervous that night. And you guys went out, and just as we were still getting to know each other, you got a huge win in a hostile environment at a time where your coach really needed it. So I'll never forget that. I appreciate it. And then, unfortunately, not long after that, we lost to Lana for a few games. And then roles changed a lot, and people had to step up. And, we had the game at Enfield. Nia, we'll never forget Nia hitting that three-pointer at the buzzer. That was awesome. That was a game we needed to win. Then we had our Sabbath game, and we got that win, which Hannah had requested. 4 of our girls scored 9 or more points. It was a really balanced scoring attack. That was a great game, fun to be a part of it. And then Alana came back, and we had maybe our biggest game of the year in many ways was our Holyoke at home game. We were down 9 at the half. I didn't have Bridget with me, so I was really wondering what to do next. And the girls just reacted to halftime and reacted to the moment in ways that I knew they could, but I was happy to see them do it. We only gave up 6 points in the third quarter. We scored 38 points in the second half. And I think, especially for our returning varsity players, we got the monkey off our back of beating Holyoke and having a wonderful night with Coach Dre and seeing her and having a lot of memories, I'm sure, but at the same time, getting the win that we so desperately wanted. Another great game was at Northampton. They were so good. We were able to beat them twice this year, obviously, but up at Northampton was an absolute dogfight. Hannah Minardi for 3 to seal the deal. We told her she could shoot threes. Wasn't the most normal technique on that shot, but it was money nonetheless. That was a great game. I have lost in many times at Northampton, and anytime you can get a win up there, it's worth remembering forever. And then another great game was our comeback at Westside. We were down 16-3 at Westside. Alana went down again in the first half. It felt like one of those icky games that you just never knew what would happen. And it didn't feel like we were meant to win it. And then I remember that game, our bench came through huge. Gabby Kingston with 11 points, Allie Matz with some plays that just totally changed the game. And then we fought all the way back from 16-3, and we got a much-needed win, which was great. And then lastly is Northampton on senior night. I think we all will remember that as an absolute magical night, packed house. Team played amazing. Hannah Minardi went to a different level. Everybody was just fantastic, and there's nothing like senior night because the emotions are so up and down. And again, it's something about this team that they were able to overcome all of these things, stay connected as a unit, and find a way to win these big, big games. We had so few games where it was just like we automatically win. It was like we always had to fight, we always had to claw, we always had to work so hard. And that's what made the season special. So I probably could go through every one of our wins, but those are the ones I remember most. And I hope all the players and families agree with me that it was an incredibly, incredibly memorable season. Okay, now I'm going to get into some of our actual players and some memories of our actual players. First up is Jillian Joseph. It was great getting to know Jillian this year. She fought hard in tryouts and earned a spot on varsity, which she really deserved as a freshman, which is just incredible. Killer crossover. Jillian can get by somebody very quickly. In practice, she constantly was getting by players very quickly. I think she learned a lot this year. She was going up against older guards every day, and that's not easy as a ninth grader. I was tough on her this year in that I was bouncing her back and forth between the 1 and the 2, between the point guard and the off guard spot. And that was definitely challenging for her. It would be challenging for anybody. So she had to know the plays from all the different spots, and she had to try and figure out how to impact the game and the practices from both spots. She's going to work on her three-point shot a lot. She already is. When she develops that, she's really going to have the whole package, because if someone comes out on her, she is able to get by them. She has a quick first step, a deceptively quick first step, frankly, and she has little quick dribble moves that get her by people. So she is going to be a very good player for the next 3 years. We are totally excited to have her. One of the things I'll never forget about her this year is two things. One, she really upped her TikTok game. I'll talk more about that later. But two, she would have these moves in practice where it was just like, wow, how did she do that? And every time she did that, you would just hear Alana Kaufman yell, "Hey, Jill!" And that was absolutely a blast. So, Jillian Joseph, it was a pleasure working with you this year. Looking forward to 3 more strong years. That brings me to Gabby Kingston, our other freshman. Gabby Kingston, such a physical presence on the court. Gabby rebounded and scrapped and played D like a senior. Not even like a sophomore or a junior. She absolutely just hustles and puts her whole effort into it and really came across as a senior in so many moments. One thing that was cool about Gabby was she really watched and learned from Hannah how to play team defense as well as individual defense. I'll talk a lot more about Hannah later, but it was cool to see Gabby watching and learning from Hannah. And that's a really great attribute for a young athlete to have. Gabby gave us so many big minutes so often. She was so versatile. I could put her in there at the small forward, at the power forward. There was moments she could play center. And speaking of first steps, we were always trying to let Gabby know that she gets by any defender she wants with her first step. She just has to catch from one direction, swing through, and drive to the other direction. And she is going to go by almost everybody in Western Mass. But one of the things I'll most remember about Gabby Kingston is she is the sweetest kid ever. She is never not smiling. I've never seen anything other than positive affect and smiles to go with it. So Gabby Kingston's going to give us a lot of great things over the next 3 years. And it was great having you this year, Gabby, and I hope you have a great summer. Next up is Allie Matz. Allie Matz is such a unique player. You know, there's so many ways she impacts a game that it's almost like hard to put your finger on. We joke with Allie for her one move, the killer Matz crossover, where she boom, 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 where she crosses over like 8 times in one place. She pulled it at half court. I think it was on Sabbath. It was absolutely classic. Allie is such a tough player. Oh my goodness. She's such a tough player. And like I said, she impacts the game in ways it's hard to describe because she's just moving around. She's making a good pass when you didn't see it there. She's cutting through. She's getting a rebound she had no business getting. She really, as I said earlier, helped us turn the game around at Westside, which truly had an impact on our season. Allie also never stopped working hard. She always wants to get better. She always communicates around what can she do next. And not least importantly, she brings a humor to the team that made us laugh all the time. She always helped us relax. She could just make us crack up over the smallest thing. Bridget and I were talking, and even just saying the name Allie Matz makes everyone smile. As soon as you say Allie Matz, you can't help but smile. So it was great to get to know Allie this year, and I'm so excited that we have 2 more years of Allie Matz in the program. That brings me to Leah Makua. Leah is an absolutely great kid. It was so fun getting to know her this year. Oh my goodness. Basketball-wise, she blocks shots. She had so many blocks in practice and in games. She grabs rebounds. She just really impacts a game in that paint area, moving side to side, getting those arms up, doing things that she can to change the game in the paint. There's no nonsense with Leah. She just goes about her business. And once she started to get comfortable with the varsity team and with the coaching staff, her one-liners are amazing. She would have us cracking up. We played a game at the end of most practices called 5 Questions, where I would ask 5 questions of a player so that we could get to know them better, like what's your favorite hobby, what's your favorite binge-worthy show, different things like that. And no one enjoyed that game more than Leah Makua. She would always be reminding me we got to play. She would always be thinking of new answers to the questions I had asked her. She really has a great personality, a smile that warms a room, brightens up a room. And Leah Maka was a blast to coach, talented basketball player, talented athlete, and a joy to be around. So thank you, Leah. Now it brings me to our last sophomore, Olivia Brown. Oh man, such a talented basketball player. When I got the job, people started telling me about different players, and I was kind of listening, kind of not. I wanted to form my own opinions, but the name Olivia Brown came up in a lot of circles as someone that Long Meadow basketball was lucky to have. She can hit a lot of threes. She always has her patented step back, and she all year long got better and better on her ability to drive to the basket. That's what we were always harping on her for. Go to the basket. They all come up and guard you at the three-point line. Go by them. Olivia always wants to improve. It's clear that basketball is her thing. That's how I was growing up. And so she's always saying, what can I do next? What can I do next? So we expect her to just improve every year because she's so focused, on the sport. Second team All-Western Mass as a sophomore is incredible. And so just really talented basketball player that has a lot of different skills, who's already getting accolades for those skills, but who has many accolades out in her future. One of my favorite Olivia stories was we were at our scrimmage in Connecticut before the season started, and we were all just getting to know each other, and there's little ways we communicate that, that I communicate that the players, they were still trying to figure me out, not fully understanding everything, of course. And at a timeout or something, I thought I made it clear. I said it's for Olivia to go sub into the game for somebody. Then we sit back on the bench after the timeout. I'm watching the game, and I'm like, what is that person doing out there? I told Olivia to go in. And I look down the bench at Olivia, and she's sitting on the bench, like eating a granola bar or eating some sort of snack. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, I told you to go in. And she says, I didn't know that's what you told me to do. And we sort of had a moment where we both laughed. And then she obviously got rid of the food real quick and sprinted to sub into the game. And I thought that was a really fun moment for Olivia and I to get to know each other well. Obviously, it was a mistake. I was laughing. She was laughing. It wasn't a big deal. But it was cool to see one of our first interactions go so well. And it was just fun coaching Olivia all year, so focused on her game and so focused at just getting better at basketball and helping the team win. So thank you, Olivia Brown, and we look forward to 2 more great seasons with you.
Hey guys, it's Tegan. I just wanted to say my last goodbyes until next season. A couple things I want to talk about. The first one is I had so much fun with you guys all season, and we were able to actually go near each other until this happened. But I had so much fun dancing on the bus. I had so much fun going to practices and talking to all of you. It was a lot of fun, and all those memories were really touching to me too. So I also want to talk about seniors. I wanted to say bye to the seniors. I hope I see you guys next season. I hope some of you come to coach a little bit and some stuff. And if not, here's my goodbye and all. Yes, so I hope you guys all have great summers, and I hope I can't wait to see the juniors, sophomores, and freshmen next year. I hope I can get closer with you guys too. Well, I love you, and goodbye all to seniors that I can't wait to see you guys. I hope you guys can visit, but goodbye for now. Have a good summer. Love you.
All right, now for our juniors and seniors. First up, Ella Hutchins. Ella, our spirit leader, Mrs. Positivity. Ella absolutely enjoys every moment playing and every moment being with the team. She always wants to improve, but more importantly, she always wants to know how she can positively impact the team. Her spirit is just, you can't help but catch it. You can't help but catch it. And it's a pleasure to be around someone that has so much zest or so much zeal for what they're doing. She really worked this year on her catch and shoot game, and she hits a lot of shots in practice when she doesn't think about it. She just catches and shoots. And she's always asking, what can I get better at? What should I know? What should I do better? How can I do this in a better way? And I love that about her. I love that about her. I always say that life serves best the people that want to continually improve, and Ella Hutchins is that person. I loved her showing me her fashion blog and all these other interests she had. It was just really cool to get to know her, have her be part of the team, have her lead the bench in so many big moments where she was just so into it. And frankly, it's really unique to see high school athletes who never care about anything other than team success. She poured her heart and soul into it. Ella, you were a pleasure to be around. Thank you for all the memories this great season. Next up, Alex Pohl. Alex, she can seem quiet, as I thought she was in the beginning, but when she gets going, she's absolutely hilarious. Alex really worked all year on her three-point shot, and it kept getting better. I kept telling her that we need her to hit that shot for her to get chance at bigger minutes and for her to impact games both this year and next year. She went on to be our team three-point champion when we had our three-point shooting contest. Alex was our winner. She's a very strong offensive player who also improved on defense all season. Her lateral movement got much quicker, and she learned how to play team defense in a way that put her in the right spot almost all the time. Her social life provides the team a lot of entertainment. The whole team monitors her social life, and she's definitely our top TikToker, no doubt about it. And she brought the freshmen, especially Jillian, along with her. So Alex Pohl, we're expecting big things next year. Keep working on her game. She'll be a senior, but every chance she got, she did everything we asked this year, and she was a great member of our team. That brings me to London, Cannon Eckerly. London, such a hard-working and sweet kid. Oh my goodness. Every day she works hard. Every day she's polite. Every day her mood is consistent. She's our strongest player physically. She's one of the strongest players physically in Western Mass. When she really wants the rebounds, everyone else can just forget about it if she's in the area. She also has a very good elbow jump shot, very good going to her left in the paint. One thing about London is she's always working before and after practice to improve. If she's there early, which she is often, she's at a hoop by herself working on a skill. If there's time when practice ends for her to work on something, she always works on it. So unique to see a high school player so dedicated to their improvement. And one thing I love about London is every single time she came off the court during a game, she would specifically ask me and Bridget, what could she do better? Every single time. Such devotion to the team. She wanted to do everything she could to help the team, and that is why she asked so often, which we loved. So London, it was a pleasure coaching you this season, and we're expecting big things in your senior year. Next up, Nia Trajkovsky. Nia, our defensive stopper. We always put her on the other team's best perimeter player, and she would just hound them. She wouldn't let them catch the ball. When they caught it, she moved side to side so well. Must be those soccer feet. And she just worked so hard. She accepted that role. I'm going to go out there and stop that player, and she did it as well, if not better, than anyone in Western Mass. One thing that I love about her is she was in and out of the starting lineup all the time, and she never let it bother her, ever. Talk about a consistent mood. Nia's mood, she was always the same. She was always Miss Dependable, and she always put team first. We kept working on her on just catch and shoot on offense. She doesn't love to dribble. She's working on it. I love it, Nia. Keep working on it. But she's got a good jump shot, a good three-point shot. Just catch and shoot. And that's exactly what she did at Enfield when we needed it most. Catch and shoot and hit a three-pointer to win the game at the legitimate buzzer. You know, a lot of us, me included, play basketball for many years and never hit a buzzer beater. And Nia did it, which was awesome. And like I said, I really just respect how much Nia just goes about her business. She is such a quiet leader. She's always the exact same, and others see that and follow it because she's got such leadership ability, even though it's not outspoken and loud. She models exactly what a coach wants. And here's an example. I remember one time towards the end of the season, I arrived in the LHS parking lot. I was walking into practice. It was starting pretty soon thereafter. And Nia is walking out to her car. And if it was mostly almost any other player, I would have said, where are you going? We got to get started. What's going on? But I see that it's Nia, and I'm just like, nope. I'm sure whatever she's doing is correct. She's always just taking care of her business. So we just literally awkwardly walked by each other. I said hi, she said hi. And then later on, she told me, I had to run home to get my uniform. And I said, I didn't care. I knew you'd be back. I knew you had it under control. And that's just because she just goes about her business. So Nia Trzaskowski had a great season, had so much impact on this team, and was a quiet leader the whole time. So thank you, Nia. And that brings me to Grace Levin. As a point guard myself, the point guard position on any team I coach is such an important position. And I just am so lucky that I got to know Grace Levin this year, that I got to coach Grace Levin this year, and that I get to coach her again next year. She is such a tough player, and she is so fun to coach. Grace has an absolutely magnetic personality. If she's in the vicinity and there's a conversation, Grace is going to be a big part of that conversation, and people are just drawn to her. She has great skills as a point guard. I sometimes think this goes unnoticed. She can control the tempo of a game. She just gets people the ball in the right spots. She just knows the flow of the game and what we need. And it doesn't always have to be flashy. She doesn't have to get a lot of buckets in some games, but she is literally the coach on the floor. And I don't want to bring up the Amherst playoff game, but I will to prove this point. We played a lot of the second half without her because of foul trouble, and you could just see that Temple defense that they were running just gave us so many more problems, because without our quarterback in there, it was hard for us to get the ball into the spots we wanted to get. And that is a testament to how important Grace Levin as a point guard was to us. And that was a game where we missed her. There were so many other games and many more games where, because we had her, things ran smoothly. She is just exactly what a coach wants. She grew her confidence with the basketball throughout the season, which was great to see. She more and more got into the paint, found a way to create for herself or for others. She's underrated as a shooter. She can hit the three. She can hit the pull-up jumper. So she just has an incredibly diverse game and a lot of leadership as well. And the thing about Grace, which might be the most important, is she brings so much fun to the entire team, nonstop. Teams need that. Teams need Grace Levins to bring fun to the moments, and she sure did that. And she was a great fit with my personality. I really valued this aspect of her leadership. She had this great balance of having fun and working hard. Having fun and working hard. That's a perfect mentality for a point guard on a team I am in charge of to have. So I was just blessed in my first year, and now coming up towards our second year, to have Grace Levin running the show. And one of the tiny story I'll never forget is in the middle of a practice, I'm coaching on something. Grace is sort of standing behind me. Bridget's also behind me. And I'm like, oh, we're going to put this in. We're going to do this new play. Obviously, I'm famous for putting in more plays than we could ever use. And Grace, in the middle of practice, looks over at Bridget and says, ever since we beat Holyoke, this guy. Bridget lost it, and it became their thing, this guy. So Grace, I love you. You were great to coach, great teammate, great basketball player, and I'm looking forward to next year already. And that brings me to our seniors. A team is always reliant on its seniors. They set the tone for the work ethic. They set the tone for the mood. They set the tone for the team unity. They set the tone for everything. And that was even more the case this year with new coaching staff in place. And we are so blessed, Bridget, Suzanne, and I, to have the three seniors that we had. I am going to talk about each of them now, but there's no way I'm going to do justice to any of the three of them. It was a pleasure getting to know them. I'm hoping it's the beginning of lifelong relationships with these amazing young women. And I just thank them. Julia, Alana, Hannah, I thank you so much for all of the memories this year, for embracing the things we did and how we did it, for making the winter varsity basketball ride so much fun. You're the best. We love you. And I'm sorry for what I don't say as I go through each one of you separately. So first up, Julia Carteropoli. Julia has some basketball skills that frankly it took me a minute to like identify and realize, but she is a post player that is a better passer than most point guards. She sees open people and open spaces as well as I've ever seen someone in the post see them. She also knows how to throw these little tiny bounce passes. So it's not just she sees you open, she knows what angle the pass has to take to get to you. It's really unique. She also knows how to move around in the post so well. She slithers in and out of areas, finding exactly where she should be to be in rebounding position, to be in catch a pass position, to be in get someone to help off of someone else to help on her position. She really has a knack for the game, especially within 12 feet of the basket. She sees and understands things at a very high level. Obviously, this year, Julia overcame so much in order to not just play, but to have such a successful season. She showed more courage this year than I've shown in my life ever. Julia, you were inspirational to me. Any day where I was tired or wondering what I was doing, or was I this or was I that, I would look at you working hard at basketball, enjoying the moment, and it would recenter me every time. You truly are an inspiration to me, to the coaching staff, to everyone that you were around this year. Julia can also be another adult in the room, which we needed. Sometimes I can be all over the place, and even Bridget can get going sometimes. But Julia could always refocus us or talk to us like adult to adult, which is important. That was important. And Julia, I would say Julia and I were very good at communicating with each other, and Julia and Bridget as well. This was so important with a new coach that Julia would listen to me, but also get her own point across. And then I would try to listen to her, but also get my own point across. And I think that's going to bode for her very well. I know she wants to go into education, and I know she's going to be great at it. I hope someday I'm interviewing her soon. Couple things I'll never forget about Julia. Number one, I think for the entire season, she brought the same book to every game. And she would get to the pregame, she'd sit the book down on the bleachers, and Bridget and I would look down and we'd say, "You gonna read that?" And she'd go, "Yeah, I don't know, maybe." And it just, the same book kept coming back. And then instead of reading, she would much rather engage in a conversation about how challenging English class was. Never forget that about her. And then Bridget wanted to make sure that I added that another concern we have moving forward for Julia is we want to make sure she's safe, because if you've ever seen her drive, she drives on top of the steering wheel. It was the most incredible thing we learned on our Worcester trip. So we want to make sure she stays safe even though she's driving on top of the steering wheel. So Julia, we absolutely love you. It was awesome getting to know you. I look forward to you having a relationship with myself and Bridget in this entire program for many, many years to come. We wish you all the best in college. We miss you, and you are awesome. Thank you so much. That brings me to Alana Kaufman. Alana Kaufman, such an extremely talented basketball player. It's so unique to have someone be such a star for 4 years on the varsity team. One of the things that Bridget and I talked about was our younger players really looked up to Alana. And that was a lot on Alana to have the younger players constantly looking up to her. And she was amazing at supporting them. Just amazing. She was exactly the kind of senior you want younger players to learn from. Alana has a three-point shot that rivals any I've ever coached. Her three-point shot literally changed so many games. There was games where she had 4 3-pointers, 5 3-pointers, 4 3-pointers, maybe even one with 6. She was incredible at the deep shot, and when they were going, it was so helpful to us. She would just absolutely change the game. And one thing that was amazing is every team keyed on her. No one wanted to let her shoot threes. Every team, except one, we won't talk about that team, but every other team keyed on her. And she still had so many big scoring nights. It's so hard to score a lot of points when the other team is focused on you, and she did it all the time. One thing that's underrated about her is her speed and her stamina. She never stops running. She never stops moving. And that is one thing that allowed her, even as they're focused on her, to still have so many big scoring nights. She made first team All-Western Mass, well-deserved. And then beyond that, she just has an unbinding optimism for life. It's amazing to watch her approach every day with a smile on her face, with an optimism about what's going to happen in that day. I'll never forget calling her Happy Feet because her feet are always moving. Even when they shouldn't be moving, her feet can't stop moving. So Happy Feet would make me laugh all the time. She's also was our team DJ. I loved how she'd bring her big speaker to so many practices, and I'd say, just hit play. They don't need to hear me talk right now. Let's listen to some music. But all that aside, the thing that I'll remember about Alana the most is when I got this position, I had heard so much about her. My wife had been her principal. Bridget had been her counselor at the middle school. And you just heard so many different things about her from so many different people at the high school. Oh, Alana's amazing. Oh, Alana's incredible. Oh, Alana will do this. Oh, Alana will do that. And what was amazing to me is she surpassed the expectations I had, both as a player and as a person. So even though everybody built my Alana Kaufman expectations up, both as a human being and as a basketball player, she surpassed all of them, which is just incredible to me. It was an honor getting to know Alana. I'm so glad she's someone I can call a friend at this point. And thank you, Alana, for all the memories this year, for all the hard work, and for just being all around awesome. And that brings me to last, but certainly not least, Hannah Minardi. I said earlier that I'm pretty sure I've coached now 14 years of varsity basketball. She is the best defensive player I have ever coached, bar none. She is better than any boy as a defensive player that I've ever coached, and I've been around hundreds. It's amazing to me what she's able to accomplish both as an individual defender and as a team defender. So many people can do one or the other. She does both of them better than anybody else. It's amazing. And her overall intelligence on the court in general, she wants to go into coaching. She's going to be an incredible coach because she just sees and reads the entire court at all times. It's almost like a professional player. When you watch NBA players or WNBA players, you can see that their brain is thinking at a different level. And that's what Hannah Minardi is as a player. She sees and understands everything that's happening in every moment, which is amazing. Offensively, we couldn't encourage her enough to come out of her shell, and she more than did so, averaging double digits in points. Frankly, she averaged a double-double. She averaged 10 points and 10 rebounds, which is amazing. She was first team All-Western Mass, well-deserved, and she always, always, always was focused on team success. She could not have cared less if she had 4 points or 24 points. She just wants to win. She understands also the whole scope of the team experience. She knows that a team is an organic unit that is always changing, that always needs to be talked about, that always needs to be working on itself. That's going to make her a good coach as well. She made me, frankly, want to work harder as a coach. And that is important to me. I would see how hard she was working and how bad she wanted it, and I would see how much she understood the game, and all of this would leading to me wanting to work harder. A couple things I'll never forget about her as well. The fact that every time she falls, she lands crisscross applesauce, it just frankly defies all laws of human movement. And when we first started this season, Bridget and I especially, we could not believe every time she fell that she landed like that. Every time we thought she was hurt, and every time she would just pop right back up. It's amazing. I've never seen anyone else do that. She's also captain of team dancing on the bus. When we get on the bus and the girls are feeling good and the music goes on, she means business. She's not playing. She wants a dance party and she wants it to go well. And then one of the things I'll remember is towards the end of the season, we all know that I'm not really going to wear a tie on the bench. And I certainly am a very informal dresser during games. And towards the end of the year, it might have even been senior night, I wore a Longmeadow basketball collared polo shirt, which for most coaches is dress down. And so I have that on, and I'm addressing the team in the beginning, before the game. I'm starting the pregame speech. And Hannah looks at me and she's like, "What's up with that shirt? When did you get all bougie on us?" And everybody laughed. I could not stop laughing. I couldn't believe that a polo short sleeve shirt was considered bougie, but it was a great call by Hannah. And I will never wear it again, I don't think. So Hannah Minardi, you are the best defensive player I've ever coached. It was an honor coaching with you. I look forward to watching you as a coach, hopefully working with you as a coach, and I wish you the best of luck in everything. You are amazing. So before I close out, again, I just want to thank you, parents. I'm raising two daughters as well. I hope I'm doing the job that you are doing as parents, because every one of the girls on this team were absolutely a pleasure to be around. Always respectful, always hardworking, always looking to improve, always focused on team development and team unity. And I thank you so much. Thank you, players. I hope I've said as much as I should, but I could speak another hour about all of you. Love you guys so much. I will never forget how magic this season was, and that is because of you. Thank you so much, players. I'm never going to forget this team. I look forward to next year with our returners. And seniors, please know you always have a home in this program. I hope you will visit as often as possible for many years to come. We love you. Thank you again for a great season. I know we will see each other soon. This barbecue will happen. I know it will. But either way, this team will always be a family, and it was a season to remember. Thank you all so, so much.